Doctor, if I see my period twice a month, is it normal? This is the question we're going to be answering today. If it is normal to have your period twice in a month. This is Talk Pregnancy with Dr. Noella, where we tell you all about pregnancy and other women-related health issues. So our returning subscribers, thank you very much. To those who have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Click on the subscription button and the notification button such that you're going to be the first to receive this video. Having your period twice in a month can be normal or abnormal. Now I'm going to start with the normal. Your menstrual cycle should be from within 21 days to 35 days. And when we talk about the menstrual cycle, is when your period starts to the day before the next period. Those of you who cannot calculate your menstrual cycle, make sure you go back after this video and you watch the video I made on how to calculate your menstrual cycle, because once you know your menstrual cycle, if there's any abnormality, then you'll be able to detect it. Now, those who have a shorter cycle, if you have calculated your cycle and you see that it is short, it's very possible for you to see your menses twice in a month. If, for example, you have your menses on the 1st, then the next menses, if you have a 21 day or 22 day cycle, you see the next menses on the 21st or the 22nd of that month. If once it occurs like that, you're not bothered because you know you have a short cycle. Secondly, those who still have a 28-day cycle, which is the average number of days in a menstrual cycle for women, you can see your menses twice in a month, either one time or 2 times. Now, how is this possible? It is very possible because if your menses falls on the 1st, then on the 28th of that month, even if it is February, you can still see your menses that same month. So you might see it twice that month. This goes to women who don't yet know their cycles well. Some women still tell me that, doctor, I see my menses every 9th of the month, every 10th of the month, every 15th of the month. Once you start telling me that, I know you don't even know how to calculate your cycle. So if you know how to calculate your cycle, you don't follow the calendar, you follow your cycle. Please take note about this. Go back and watch my video. I explain that very well. Now, there are other underlying medical conditions which can make you bleed twice in a month or make you bleed in between your menses. So the first thing that we'll talk about is if you're on contraceptive methods, the combined oral contraceptive pills, where you need to take these pills daily. Once you miss a pill 1 or 2 days, you can have bleeding in between your periods. Why? Because these are hormones. So once you don't take for 1 or 2 days, there's what we call the withdrawal bleeding. So it's like the hormone has been removed from the body and it causes that inner lining which was thickening to break and shed off. If you have problems taking your pills, why not set an alarm to be taking it at the same time, or put it in your mind that once I'm doing a daily activity, for example brushing your teeth, you should just take your contraceptive pills immediately. So in this case, you don't forget taking it. Even in women who take these emergency contraceptive pills, you know that some women out there who their own normal contraceptive methods that they take is the emergency contraceptive pills. It's no longer like emergency per se. They put it like they just take it as their own method of contraceptives. So it can cause you hormonal imbalances. It can make you to bleed in between your menses. Secondly, if you discontinue your hormonal contraceptive methods, maybe you have put the implants or you're taking the injections, and finally you stop it or you remove it, what happens is that you see some level of hormonal imbalance. Your body is still coming back to its normal self. So within this time, you can have some intermittent bleeding that make you to bleed twice in a month. Most at times, as the days go by and as the months pass, it becomes regular back. Now we also have what we talk about polycystic ovarian syndrome. That's what we say PCOS. It's actually a condition where there is high level of production of the male hormone testosterone. With this, it causes irregular menses. So it means here that ovulation is taking place less than normal, and even sometimes absent ovulation. So it causes an abnormality in the bleeding. Most of the time it is usually less bleeding, but sometimes in people, others are very different. Sometimes it can lead to more frequent bleeding. So here you can tend to have bleeding twice in a month. So make sure you consult when you discover this kind of situations. High level of stress from, maybe you can be having your financial stress, you can be going through a emotional stress, going through stress in your school. With all this, it can affect excessive exercises, it can affect your bleeding. People are different, so you could either be skipping of menses or more frequent menses, or your menses coming before time, and in that case it can come before time and you see it twice in a month. That period go to other conditions like thyroid issues, where the thyroid gland is the gland seen around the neck here. It secretes the thyroid hormone, that if it is high, that's what we call hyperthyroidism, or if it is low, hypothyroidism, it can affect the normal functioning of the hormones in the body, causing you to have skip in your menses, therefore making you to see it more frequent and like twice in a month. So make sure you consult, and this one is usually detected from blood tests which are being done in the hospital. So it's once you go to a hospital, these are being checked, these are being evaluated before it is discovered that it is this. But if you sit in the house and you ignore this, you will never discover that you have this kind of condition. It's pregnancy. Yes, pregnancy can make you to bleed twice in a month. Why am I saying this? Is because once you get pregnant, then there's what we call implantation bleeding. You can see this bleeding before or during the time you're expecting to see your menses, but you see that here we'll not really talk about menses. It's actually implantation bleeding, and at this point you see that it can just be spotting, it can just be coming out small. So once you see this, it's always good to check. Sexually transmitted infections like chlamydia, gonorrhea, trichomoniasis vaginalis. With all this, it can cause irregularities in your menses. It can also cause delay or early bleeding. With this, you can see your menses twice in a month, so don't ignore this. What we call endometriosis. Endometriosis is when you're bleeding. Normally you have to bleed through your vagina, but now you start bleeding inside your reproductive organ, like around the ovaries, around the tubes, in between the muscles of your uterus. Here you can have it associated with pains during your menses, and associated with pain during intercourse and irregular bleeding. So with this, once you discover, you can make you to have your period to bleed twice in a month. That point is menopause. During your perimenopausal symptoms, this can happen even 5 to 10 years before before menopause actually occurs. We know averagely menopause occurs around the age of 45 to 55. So even around 35 years old, you can start having already maybe frequent your menses or skipping menses. So with the frequent, you tend to start seeing it twice in a month, and you can even wait for some time, some months it doesn't come. When it comes again, it starts flowing heavily and coming twice in a month. Now we can also talk of gynecological cancers. Here, these are really seen mostly in elderly people, where they can start having mild bleeding in between their menses. It could be ovarian cancer, endometrial cancer, or cervical cancer. With this, it can cause you to have intermittent bleedings, but most of the times in women who have already gotten into menopause, once they start bleeding, it's good to always check, because it's always a sign of cancer. If you see that you know your menstrual cycle and it is a short menstrual cycle, then you should not be worried. And if you have to see that you have the 28-day cycle and you see that it's only within this month that you saw it twice in a month, and the other months you saw it once in a month, you see that it's no worry for you. But other causes, other things, if you're stressing, if you're taking your birth control methods and you're skipping, so try methods in which you can take it regularly. If you have infection, make sure you seek a gynecological consultation so that you can be treated. So if this was helpful, don't forget to share the videos to other women out there. And if you want to have a private chat with me, a private consultation, click on the link below, download the Waspito app, and make a call to me, either a video call or an audio call. Thank you very much. God bless you. See you next time.